guys. This is Qios Anime, and we're actually gonna do a podcast for once. Yay! We got postponed.
Yeah.
Now we're good, and I'm with. You want to introduce yourself?
Okay, I am Francesca. I don't really have a YouTube presence at all, but if you're watching this, I don't know if you know, but I'm Francesca the Fruits Basket Hoe on Twitter.
Yeah.
Sometimes I post cursed shit on there. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Awesome. And we're just gonna talk about the last 2 episodes and have fun with this. Really quick though, we have both read the manga and have watched the original. And I've always thought about doing a podcast for Fruits Basket when like the reboot happened, but I was like, I know what's gonna happen, so nah. And then season 2, we're all kind of in new waters here, so that's why I
Yeah.
thought we'll start it up and have fun with it.
Yeah, and to be clear, I actually never finished the OG anime. I just read the manga.
Oh, I didn't know that. See?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's because I basically went to like a boarding school, and when during the time I really got into anime and manga, and they didn't really let you watch like TV very often or like
Mhm.
go on the internet, so I'm only really had books and manga. So I've read a lot more manga than I watched anime.
That's cool though, because
Mhm.
manga's better. Like, 'cause it's kind of
Yeah,
like a
most of the time.
yeah. All right. So the first episode we had was called "Hello Again," and
Mhm.
which was ironic, I thought, because the again was the first opening was called
Oh,
again.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Um, and we actually I like how we start out with unlikely character. Um,
Yeah,
Motoko.
Motoko, which like
Yeah.
I was not like I saw the spoiler images. Obviously, I mean,
Mhm.
who do you think I am? But
Mm.
like,
And
I was very like I was surprised, definitely.
yeah, some people though liked it because it was like you weren't thrown into like the main character too fast. Main character's too fast. It was kind of like a slow coming back kind of feel.
Hmm.
That
Yeah, like what were your like overall thoughts? Do you think of the episode?
it was like it wasn't like an amazing episode, but it was
Yeah,
it felt like Fruits Basket, so it was good.
yeah. It was so funny.
Yeah.
For me, I watched it, and the first time I guess I was just so happy to Fruits Basket back that my judgments were clouded. I was like, holy
Same.
shit, this is so good. Oh my god, this is amazing. 10 out, 10, and then later I'm like, oh, it was pretty good, you know.
Yeah, but we have her admiring Yuki at the beginning. Like, who wouldn't,
Mhm.
though? Principal.
I love seeing Toru fall down
Yes, I
too.
was about to say. Then Toru comes in and she's all like, "Then Toru came and ruined my plans," and yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty much
Toru's like this evil mastermind, and you just see her like
the point.
falling all adorably on the ground.
Yes, and then we have the opening, which is a bop, and
Yeah, that's literally what I wrote in my notes. I said, "New OP is a fucking bop." That's what I wrote.
it's called Prism by AMPM, and
Yeah.
the visuals are really nice,
Uh.
and like how
Yeah.
the animals are in the water, like reflected or whatever. So,
Mhm.
and
Can I say something about the new OP?
yeah,
Okay, so like the middle part where it hits the beat, it's like da, 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 da.
yeah,
That reminds me of like some like 90s like sitcom or like drama.
yes,
I don't know, or like a 90s like what they played at the beginning of like a romantic comedy.
yeah,
Like I can't explain it, but it just gave me those vibes and I loved it so much.
exactly. Um, and we got a little spoiler even in the opening there with the horse.
Yeah, with Ren.
Yes, that was nice. People were like, "Oh!" So, it,
Yeah. So now we know that she's the horse basically. Which like I'm fine with that. Is because like if it had been a different person that I won't name, then it would have been a much bigger spoiler.
yes, yes, exactly.
But Rin, her, it's not like a big deal for us to know that she's the horse ahead of time. It's not like a big plot
Mhm.
relevant thing. It's more just like, oh well, now people can't guess.
Yeah. And then they had a little tiny recap just to like be like, oh, this is what happened first season, which was nice.
Hmm.
And then we get to Shigure and talking about summer vacation,
Yeah,
which I actually related to as an adult now.
yeah, definitely. Well, I still have it because I'm in college, but yeah, I can understand that.
Like, oh, you guys get summer vacation. You don't understand. When you're adult, you don't. And then
Feels like you're always on vacation.
Kyo's like, you're a novelist. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That was so funny, though, that scene. Because that was the scene that felt like the most, like, oh, we're finally back kind of feel. Because it was in Shigure's house.
Yeah.
So.
And I love Toru, during the whole, when Kyo and Yuki are fighting, and she's like, "Stop fighting! It's dangerous!" And she like holds up the hot iron at them, and Kyo is like, "So are you!" And she just doesn't realize what she's doing, and it's amazing. It's like classic Toru moments like that.
Yeah, and then we have Yuki has to go, and then we have Shigure shunning Qios because he's too dense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't. He's like, what? What are you talking about? Romance, huh?
Yeah. And I'm like,
he's like, I'm just gonna go work out, bro. Like,
it's literally me in every anime, though. I'm like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
This.
Shigure is basically the audience.
Yes, Shigure was audience for a second there. Then we go back to the fangirls of Yuki.
Oh wait, can I mention something before we get to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
This was a very big moment for like the like end scene.
Mm-hmm.
Kyo calls Yuki lame, but like it can be better translated. A lot of people were like upset. It could have been better translated to boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Yuki's leaving, he says, "I already know I'm boring."
Yeah.
Or I already knew that, and it ties back into the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So once we get to the end, I'll bring it up again. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that happened.
You're right. That's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to convince the student council president to tell them if there's any females on the new board that Yuki will be with, and he's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna tell you. Oh, and I love how he's all serious, like hunched over the desk, like a serious guy, and then it switches to, if I could stay back a year and help my Yuki run the student council, I would.
Yes, I cracked up because I know he has a crazy voice. So at the beginning, he was like talking.
And it's Kazuma from Konosuba voices him in the Japanese.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And people,
which is amazing.
Right away when they watch it, they're like, "Oh, is that Kazuma?
Is that Kazuma?" They're like, "Kazuma des?"
Yeah. So it's a great.
Yeah, I love his voice acting. It's amazing. He needs more time.
Yeah. And then unexpectedly we got to see Duo's underlings for like a little bit.
Yeah, I remember seeing them like once more in the manga around this point, so like I had forgotten that we see them again, and it made me really happy.
I always like how Fruits Basket just kind of frozen like characters that you don't think is gonna come up that are like barely there, and then it's like, oh yeah, it kind of makes you think of the world they live in.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, and that's like this whole episode, like we saw like a huge thing from Motoko. Plus we saw those guys. It just reminds you that like people live in this world. It's not just like, it's not all about the Somas. Like Uo has her own stuff going on.
And then you want to talk about the new characters?
Yeah, it's so hard to talk about them without spoiling.
We meet Machi first, where she's in the dark with paper.
Yeah, we see that she's like throwing shit all over the ground.
All around her, like a huge mess. And like, girl, you okay? And she just flips out, like, dude, don't touch me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very intense. I was so into it, though. I love Machi as a character so much. I was really excited
when I saw her. I was like, oh, so.
Yeah, and she's so pretty, and I don't know. I already drew fan art of her.
Nice. Oh, we meet Manabe after that. Roller coaster.
I know. Oh my god, if he was okay. I'm not trying to be like, but he looked really hot in that one scene when he was like laying there, and he like looks over, and then he goes into like his crackhead.
Yeah. And we have him saying all his different names that he could be called. Hey you over there. And then we have Yuki realizing he's like his brother and freaking out.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, is it Shigure? And I was like, I can see that, but no, it's Ayame. I actually saw a meme that was like, it was like Ayame and Kakeru like getting together or whatever, and it was like the Barbie Princess and the Pauper. You're just like me. I'm
Yeah.
just like you. Do you know that one?
Yes, yes. It's funny. But then he's all like, I love the I want black. And you don't understand why he says that.
Yeah. I know that like in the original subtitles or like in the original he said, by the way, I'm black. And
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I understand why they changed it.
I noticed that too. And Yuki's just like, coffee or
Yeah.
and then you find out why later. Because the school defense force and he likes like, like Power Ranger stuff and he wants to be the black. And that's pretty much the only reason he joined. So
Yeah.
which is kind of
I mean relatable.
I mean in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but then we get him kind of making fun of Yuki, saying he should be the pink Power Ranger instead of the
Yeah.
and that's kind of makes his character still mysterious. So I liked that.
Yeah. I loved seeing Yuki just blush and get really like what, this guy's making fun of me.
Yeah.
I hate this dude. Like just seeing Yuki in a different way.
Yeah.
I remember I saw a YouTuber who was like, no, that was flirting. And like I was like, whoa.
Oh my gosh. And then we go back to the fangirls and Motoko, she's in her room
Mm-hmm.
and the first time she spoke to Yuki is shown.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, you're beautiful. And he's just like, thank you. And I just cracked up to
Yeah.
that.
Oh, something I really like about Motoko is that she and it's mentioned later, she talks in Keigo. But which is basically like she talks in a very like aristocratic, like rich girl type
Yeah.
way almost. But if you see that she's like living over a shop in like this really dusty, musty, crusty neighborhood looking place, it just like shows that it's kind of like a juxtaposition because you expect her to live in like a big mansion and then it like shows her house and you're like, wait, what?
Her room's like
Yeah, her
fancy,
room's really cute. I like it.
and then they're like, well, how do we figure out what to do to find out if there's a female in the student council? And they get Rika to a third
Yeah.
to unlock the door because she's apparently master of this, which is kind of weird thing to be master of, but
Yeah, and the other girls are like, I hope she doesn't go down the wrong path in life. I love them so much. Like, they're just so, like, in the manga, I didn't like them as much, but seeing them animated and, like, their voices and, like, the way that they bounce off each other is really funny, and I really like the Prince Yuki fan club in this version.
same. I like them more as I get to know them more, like, especially animated. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we have, so Yuki in the flesh is in the room. It's not locked, and they walk in, and
Mm-hmm.
and Motoko's like, "Oh my gosh, this is my chance. What should I say?" And she asks what he had for breakfast, and they're just like,
Yeah, and they're like, huh?
Yuki being his like cute Yuki just answers honestly.
I know. You know, there's something else I noticed, and I really like to read into stuff a lot. Like I like to analyze like books and stuff, so I could be wrong about this, but I noticed that like Rika is like, "Oh, hey Yuki."
Yeah.
And she like walks in and she's all like she's like okay around him.
Yeah.
But Motoko has like she's so nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels like everybody else in the Prince Yuki fan club, yeah, they really love Yuki. And I think that they just think he's cute. I feel like Motoko has like I don't know, I feel like her feelings run a lot deeper than the other members.
And that's so true. I've noticed that too. She was just kind of like, "Oh, Yuki," and came up, and Motoko was just like,
Yeah, it feels like for the other girls, it's more like, "Oh, I really like Yuki. Oh my gosh, she's great." And Motoko's like has like real infatuation, and I think that the other girls, it's more about looks, and I think for Motoko, it's about looks, but it's also about her image of him, like the swat, like she thinks a lot of him. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she literally, she talks about because we're gonna it kind of leads into how she notices he's changed so much.
We missed the part where he calls her cute.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So, like, what I thought was really interesting, though, is he's like, "So do you always talk so formally?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, that's cute." And I just think about how Toru talks formally,
Yeah.
too. And so he's probably
Yeah.
thinking of Toru when he said that.
Yeah, and it's also a translation thing, because he actually said, do you always speak Keigo, which is a Japanese dialect that Toru also speaks.
Yeah, exactly. I just usually say, like, formally or something, because people don't know all about that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I meant, like, because most people wouldn't have, like, put that together, like, if they didn't know that Toru also spoke the same thing as Motoko.
Mm-hmm. But when she starts to realize that Yuki has changed a little, and without her, like, helping him change, and she starts to freak out a little, and a lot really, and she starts yelling like, "Stay away from Yuki!"
Yeah.
And then she runs out embarrassed, which I was like, yeah, I'd be embarrassed too.
Yeah, I felt embarrassed for her, especially when I read it originally in the manga. I was like, oh god. I was like, oh.
Yeah. And but Yuki does the right thing and goes up to her and is like, "Did I say anything to offend you? Or are you okay?" And that's kind of when they have the huge moment where she's like, she hates other girls, but the fact that she hates other girls, like, she hates that fact about herself.
Yeah, she hates that she has, like, these like ugly feelings inside of her that she doesn't feel like she can control, which I feel like is relatable. I feel like everybody's been there where they know that what the way that they think about stuff is wrong, and like it makes you like very upset with yourself that you're having these feelings.
Yeah, like when you exactly. I was just gonna you said took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
That's the most human part I think that she got, like, or the most deepest part we got from her character was that part where she's just saying, "Oh, I hate how, I hate other people, or how I feel this ugly way." And
Yeah.
so, but in the end, if you want to talk about how, like, Yuki kind of resolved about, because she's like, "Oh, I'm so happy that someone's so, like,
Unflustered,
yeah,
like level-headed.
would be concerned about me," and he's like, I barely can keep my cool. I'm not that.
Yeah. Yuki being a
And then
relatable icon.
yeah, and then she's like, "Same," and they kind of smile, and that's when she thanks Toru, because she never thought she would see Yuki smile like that. So change is good is what she kind of accepted eventually. And of course she says she won't give up, and Yuki's like, "What?" So
yeah, I know. See tactics for people like listening if they don't know. I was talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I kind of ship it."
And then we have the very last scene. We get Toru again, and her and Yuki are washing dishes, and we have Yuki tell her about the student council members and how they're a handful.
Yeah.
But he says that he was happy that Manabe said he was interesting, which no one's ever told him that before.
Yeah, because nobody's ever called him that, and like you can see that he really thinks lowly of himself, and like he thinks that he's just a boring person. We always see that Yuki's main thing is that he can't socialize with other people the way that like Kyo can.
Yeah.
So
and trying to see. And then I like this. I can't remember if this was the dub or sub, because I watched both.
Yeah, same.
When it was like trivial, who knew that trivial remarks can hurt and heal. So, and it kind of made me, it made me think of another episode. I can't remember what episode it was, where they were saying like, oh, when Qios in the first season, when Qios and Shigure had the talk about him talking to other people and how you need to sometimes get hurt or hurt other people.
Yeah, that was like episode 2, I think.
Yeah. It made me go back way to then, like, even so, when that was said. So I thought that was cool. All right, that was episode 1. I don't know how long we just did, but
it wasn't. It was a lot shorter than seeing Rising's podcast where they go on tangents.
Yeah, so I was trying to, like, I know we're doing 2 episodes, so I'm trying to, like, keep it going. But with it.
All right, so do you want to start us on episode 2?
Yeah. Um. So episode 2 was eat someone with your friends. We start out in the classroom and they talk about career plans,
Mm-hmm.
and we can see Mayu, our
Yeah, I put
teacher.
that down. I was like, Mayuko Sensei. I love her.
That was great. Just put her in a little more every once in a while. And then we have Uo, who's super hungry.
Yeah.
Over freaking Kyo's desk because she's so hungry and angry.
Yeah, our relatable Queen Uo.
Yeah, and I love the dynamic between Kyo and Uo. Like, some people ship them. I don't really ship them, but I get why.
Yeah. I think for me they're too similar to ship.
Yeah. They crack me up.
Plus, we find out a little something about Uo later that kind of...
Yes.
Yeah, she's got a crush on somebody that she met at work.
Yeah, and he's like Toru.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't think Kyo's too much like Toru.
And before that, Uo's all like, they're talking about the future plans, and Toru just wants to work and support herself. And Uo's all like, or you could get married. And then Hana's all like, oh my gosh, I have to go to college now. And she's like, she's not marrying you.
Yeah, Hana obviously, Hana wants to marry Toru, which I love.
And then then Uo does the greatest thing. She just goes, no, I was thinking like Yuki or Kyo. And they're like, eh. And I'm just like,
yeah, they're like, huh?
And I'm just like,
and she's like, it better not be because you don't like her. And they're like, no. Yeah, and then Hana says that we'll compete. So basically, she said to Kyo and Yuki, we'll compete for Toru's marriage, hand in marriage.
It's like, fight, go.
Oh my gosh. She would beat them in an instant.
That sad thing is, Yuki would win an actual fight.
Oh yeah, in an actual fight, but Hana with her waves.
Yes, that's true. She would know.
That's something I love about the series. When you think about it, with Hana and her waves, and then the Somas, it's like, I wonder how many other random supernatural shit is going on in this universe that we don't know about. Do you ever think about that?
Yes, I have. Because that's why when people are like, wait, Hana actually has, like, powers, I'm like, well, people are turning into animals.
Yeah, exactly. So, people are turning into animals. Are you surprised?
It's possible.
Bro, there's like, oh my gosh. Imagine a spin-off where there's like another family with a different curse. Oh my god, I would love that.
Oh, that'd be so cool. But I was like, I always thought about that too. I was like, so what other weird stuff is happening in the world? But then I'm like,
because Satori he can erase people's memories, like, and that's the thing that he got from his father.
Yeah, and they say it's like hypnotism more than actual like magic.
Yeah, but like, there's got to be some magic shit in there because he just like puts his hand up to them and they're like poof.
Yeah, but I like how.
Anyway, sorry for getting us off track.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. We can get off track sometimes because I was gonna say I like how also the whole supernatural thing of Fruits Basket, but yet it still feels so like real life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the characters are just so deep. Like they feel like real.
Yeah.
So it's like supernatural but real. It's really weird. But,
yeah, I think that like that's why I love like Uo's backstory.
Yeah.
And like that's why she was like one of my favorite characters when I read the manga because I could relate to her the most.
Cool.
She's like, I don't know, I love her so much. Anyway, I'm glad we got more of her this episode. A little bit, at least.
So after the bop opening, we get to Kazuma's house, which was yay! I was like,
oh my gosh, there was so much good like Toru at the beginning too.
Yes, it cracked me up because well, first of all, Qios smiled and I was dead.
I know his like sweet little smile at her. It's like, oh my god, this is so cute.
Yes, Qios finally smiles.
I know, and it's like after the true form arc, it's like we get so much more Qios smiling, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm so happy.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. It's just,
I know. I just want to see my son be happy.
And then I like this part. It was kind of funny. Kyo's like, you'll get lost or whatever, and come on. And at the very end, he's like, watch your step. And like when they do get to the house, she does fall.
I know her fall was so. That's the part I was like thinking about. I'm like, oh Toru.
Yes, protect Toru.
I know, I must protect her. She was so cute this episode in general. I love like Toru's one of my favorite characters, definitely.
And when they walk in, they're like, "What's that smell?" And burning the fish while he's
Cosmo can't cook.
it's got me with Shigure's book, and I just think there are some people that like Shigure's books. Really weird, like
Well, yeah, because they said that he writes like fine literature. It's just that he writes that weird like romance shit on the side. Or crap, sorry. Oh god, I keep cursing.
Anyway, yeah. So he's just reading his book, and it cracked me up. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of, isn't it true? I'm pretty sure he's just not really good cook anyway.
Yeah, they had the flashback in episode 24 of season 1.
Yeah.
With Kyo and the burnt fish, and he's like, "What is this?"
Yeah, so he's just not good.
It's like the same thing.
So.
Yeah, he's not. That's probably why Kyo is such a good cook. Part of it.
Yeah, exactly, because he had to make his own food.
Yeah.
So Toru's just like, well, why don't I make something? Kyo's like, no, and then Cosmo's like, sure. He's like, okay.
Yeah. He's like, she's the guest, dude, and Toru's just so sweet, and she's like, I'll cook.
So she's like, let's make curry, because they had, like, nothing.
Yeah. And it was funny, because it looked like she got it off the floor, the way that they showed it.
She might have.
Yeah, for real.
But we have one small part when she's cooking where Kyo kind of stares at Cosmo.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, what do you want? And what do you want to say? And Kyo's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you did that all the time as a kid.
I know. It was so cute.
Like, I'm not that cute. And I'm like, yes, you are.
Yeah, he's a little baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I love seeing baby Kyo so much.
Yes. But obviously he wanted to talk about, like, his future career thing, because, like, that comes on later.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah. By the way, they combined these two chapters so well, because in the manga these weren't together.
Yes.
But it was so good. They're really good at combining stuff like that.
Because the only thing that was disappointing is we didn't see, like, Kyo in his karate outfit.
I haven't read in a while, so I don't even remember that. So, but now I am sad.
Yeah. When he goes to the original chapter, he goes up to his master and, like, he's like, what do you want? And he's like, you know, like, I didn't do anything that cutesy. And he walks away and he's like, nothing. And that was it. And it was like him at the dojo and he's like working out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was. But I mean, it's still, the way they put together was great. I agree.
Yeah. The way they, like, tied it all together thematically.
And then we have Kyo's gonna help Toru with food because they're the food masters, I guess, of this anime. And Kyo,
yeah.
Oh, Kyo's such a good cook. He made me rice porridge that one time. And then Cosmo was like,
I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kyo's like, get out of here.
He was like,
he's so embarrassed the whole time. This whole episode is just so cute for Kyo too, like his embarrassment. I like seeing Toru in a ponytail too, because you never get to see that.
Ponytail Toru.
Yeah, it's like the little things that I enjoy. I'm like, I like seeing Toru in a ponytail.
But then doorbell rings and we get a small flashback of Kyo last year and how, like, down how bad it was. And but and then they're like, who was at the door or whatever, and they're like, it was Kyo's father, and I was like, no.
I thought it was the phone. It was the door.
Oh, was it the door? I don't know. Phone.
I don't know either.
Whatever.
Yeah.
A ring, something. Someone answers.
Ring, yeah.
But anyway, they were like, it's Kyo's father, and I was like, I'm not ready for this.
I know. Even, like, people, the funny thing is, I think that people were, like, I saw some people, like, reacting to it, and they, like, acted like they already knew what Kyo's father was like. I think that they had forgotten, but, like, the scene made them think that they already knew. So they're like, oh no, I hate this guy. And I was like, why you never met him? It's so funny. But I think that intuition-wise, you can kind of tell that he's going to be trouble.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually definitely, out of all, like, the Fruit Basket characters, like, Kyo's father is, like, I hate him. So I was just...
Yeah. Does he even have a name? Do we even know his name?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Like, he's so irrelevant. Not irrelevant, like, but, like, irrelevant, like, I hate him. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we meet, Master's assistant or disciple or whatever call him. Tomoda. Nice.
I like to imagine that they're dating, but that's just me.
I've heard that. because I remember someone was like, "Oh, secretary." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you live together? Okay. Well, I'm not sure if he lives there, but you know what I mean.
But that was nice to have another person that knows Qios past a little bit
Just
and
teases him.
talks about staying on the wall and how Kyo was scared of it, and Kyo's like, "Get out of here."
Aw.
And
He's like, okay, I don't want to be a third
yeah, it
wheel.
cracked me up. Um, and then Kyo was like, they're talking about scary staying on the wall, and they have the romantic like hand touch, and I was like, ah.
Yeah. I also love before that when Toru was like, it is kind of
Yeah.
scary. It looks like a face. Are you still scared of it? And he's like, no. It's just like, haha, of course not.
And then what cracked me up was they're all like in this like romantic almost setting, and then Kyo just smacks her in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, and then her response is, that made such a nice sound.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you want to hear it again? And she's like, oh goodness, no.
They're just so funny.
I know. I mean, like, I don't know. Toru's great. When I get smacked in the face, I don't think about how nice of a sound it was the first thing.
And then we have the Kyo's father's scene, and that was actually really good because like the way it was made.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the setting was really cool. Like it was like a music like man cave.
Yeah,
and it was like the like atmosphere that like the record players set and all that.
Yes, it was really cool. So pretty much we finally get mentioned. Like I don't think it's ever been mentioned till now about after graduation for Kyo and how the Somas are gonna lock him up. Like I don't think that's ever really been mentioned.
Yeah, and I saw people like not even notice that. Like they like I saw somebody I had to explain to them and like I mean I didn't have to. I just that type of person.
So
I'm like, hey, you missed this.
Yeah, that was a pretty big reveal. Like I feel like some people didn't notice, or some people did, but
yeah. And then they're like, this is a pretty happy episode.
And then as he's like frustrated with Kyo being free, and he starts to like get him angrier, then the record skips. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And
I love the where he's like, it's all Kyo's fault about my wife, and it shows like the wife and then the train coming really fast and then it jumps back to reality. It was like very intense.
Yeah, it was like I like the way the Fruits Basket can be like so like light and puffy, but then like dark but intense all of a sudden. It's just like
yeah, it's just emotional whiplash.
Yes. And let's see then the Kazuma compares him to Kyo, like older Kyo, which I thought was good. And how he just is running away and doesn't want to change himself, which
and
is big. So
and like they use the same language. Like Cosmo used almost the exact same speech he gave Kyo in the True Form arc.
Exactly.
Like he said like plugging your ears, closing your eyes, which is like what he said to Kyo before about how Kyo projects his problems onto Yuki.
Yeah.
And like obviously Kyo's father is much worse, but he's doing essentially the same thing that Kyo, you know, was doing a long time to Yuki and still does to an extent.
And then I was just like, so Cosmo was like MVP of the episode because he was just all like, he was just like, you're not his real father. I am.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, Cosmo's a Chad, man.
I was just like, tell him. That was beautiful.
I know. And like, I noticed that Kyo's dad is like the ugliest person. I mean, I love that. He's like sunken in cheeks and he's like all scrawny, and I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then you see like the Cosmo, who's like 7 feet tall compared to him, and is like huge and like asserting his dominance.
I did like how Cosmo, like people were like, some people were like, Cosmo, you know karate, just like punch it. I'm like, no, Cosmo.
Wait, people were saying that?
Yeah, well, one person was like, you could just like beat him up, and I was like, no, that's like, I'm like, that's why I like Cosmo. He knows how to fight.
I know.
How to use it. You know, it's like he's a master, but I like that about him. So then we had tiny conversation about swimming, which I thought was cute. After that, Qios and
Oh my gosh, yeah, and just how they're like sitting together on the floor, all close and stuff. I don't know, it felt very real. It's like, well, like it's really cute.
yeah.
It's like it doesn't have to be some deep conversation
Mm-hmm.
about something for it to be cute. It's just them like sitting and enjoying each other's company. It feels really natural and
Yeah.
really
Like
adorable.
the swimming thing was mentioned about how
I
Qios
know.
like swim, and she's like, "Oh, I can swim. I just can't breathe underwater. I can't breathe at the right time." He's like,
Yeah.
Then what do you do?" And she's like, "I just go and I swim really far, like as far as."
Yeah.
He's just like,
He's like, you're
"Idiot."
gonna get swept away.
Yeah, I love that. And then
Yeah, they're so cute.
I loved it. That was so cute. And finally, Kazuma comes back home, and he's just like, good son. Let's go. Let's eat. So,
Mhm.
and then we get a little bit of Momiji right after that.
Yeah, and he says he has something he wants to do with his future, and we kind of know what it is because we
Yeah,
read the manga, but like,
but it cracked
a
me
lot of
up.
people didn't notice the. Oh,
What?
sorry.
Good.
Like I noticed a lot of people were like confused about why Toro was looking at him like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like the way he said like, "Oh, I might not be able to do it," and it's like, well, what does that mean? And then Yuki kind of elaborates and is like, did he say he might not be able to do his thing in the future?
Mm-hmm.
And like we all have struggles we're going with. The line from the trailer, we all have things we're still fighting for.
Yeah, and it was funny because I heard one person say they were like, Momiji's like, "Oh, I know what I'm gonna do, but I'll show you later." And he was like, "It's like those ads where it's like, we have this workout plan."
Yeah, I saw that too.
And he's like, "But
That
we
was
won't
so
tell you
funny.
until you give us money."
Oh my gosh, yeah, I saw that. That really lightened the mood.
So then finally we have Yuki kind of goes to bed, goes to his room, about to go to bed, and then Kyo's in the kitchen, and Tora's like, "What you doing?" And our chef Kyo is making salmon,
Yeah, I want to
and
try some, and it looks weird, like because it's cold.
yeah, I don't even know if I've tried it. I've like tried different noodles, and I don't know if I'm like I like noodles and Japanese noodles. I have no idea which ones I've had, so it's like I might have ate that before.
Yeah, well, like someone is like on ice.
Ah, okay, and probably not.
Yeah,
I just know it was some kind of noodle.
yeah,
So then he's all like, "You can make the sauce," and she's like, "Oh, what were you gonna eat it with?" He's like, "Soy sauce," and she's like, "That's good." He's like,
yeah.
"Oh."
And no, I love that because he's gonna do it, but he's like, no, it wouldn't be good.
That's literally was me in college though with cooking. I feel like it's just like, "Well, this tastes. Well, this doesn't really work, but I'm gonna eat it." It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I love their little bantering moments, definitely.
yeah, and so they make the food, and then they sit down and they talk about talk about how Kazuma cut his hair. So that comes up.
Oh yeah, what do you think of that? Do you like his old hair or new hair better?
I I mean he's handsome either way, so I don't really care.
Yeah. Uh, I like personally, I like the new one, but that's just because I don't really like long hair,
Yeah.
like on dudes. But that's just me. A lot of people like are so upset.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people upset. I'm actually kind of the same. I'd rather have a dude with short hair, but I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it did give him a lot of like character.
Yeah, yeah, it did. That's for sure. Like I can't see like Ayame with short hair. Like just
Oh my god, Ayame with short hair.
it would just look like Yuki with white hair. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm trying to picture that now. That's insane.
yeah, I never thought of that till now.
Ritsu with short hair.
Oh, well, yeah. Hmm.
So I can't imagine it.
Interesting. Then they finally get to the conversation about their future career plans, and she's like, "Oh, are you gonna take over the dojo?" And Kyo's like, "Don't really know. Even if I could, I probably can't because the Soma clan or the Soma head, whatever, will tell me no." And that really got all of a sudden got deep
Yeah.
again.
Like relating back to like putting him in a freaking caged one day.
Yeah, and it kind of reference to that really quick, but then he kind of just doesn't tell her that, because. And but then Kyo's just like, "Don't you feel the same?" And she's like, "What? No." And she
Yeah.
starts feeling really anxious after that, and she's like, "Maybe," and she starts crying.
I know, I felt so bad.
But it was really relatable because everyone goes through that, where they don't know, if they're gonna get the job they want, how they're gonna be in the future. It's just that very relatable, like, anxious thing that you don't understand or know.
Mhm.
And so then Kyo's
Yeah, it got really real.
Kyo's all like, "I'm used to you crying, it's okay."
Oh yeah.
and
The way she blows her nose is so cute.
Yeah. And and then Kyo's just kind of like, "Oh, you're such a crybaby," and then all of a sudden Shigure just comes out of nowhere. Kyo goes flying.
I know, it scares the crap out of him.
And then Shigure goes into, he's like, "Oh, Kyo, why are you in the corner?" Like, he's like, "You did it on purpose."
I know. Feels like he's doing this on purpose.
So then Shigure tells her, the best thing to do is not think about it. And she's like, "What?" And he goes into his laundry metaphor, which I actually loved. I love the laundry metaphor.
I know, I love that. I remember that from the manga.
Same. And he just pretty much says, if you're surrounded by a pile of laundry, you can't even like walk much, like huge, and you have to wash it by hand. You keep thinking about how long it's gonna take and can you do it. And he said, but the best thing to do as time ticks by is just start at your feet and start, in the present, in other words, and not think about the future too much. And that's pretty much what Toru needed to hear. So, and then, when you are anxious, just eat some somen with your friends or watch TV. So
yeah, that was really sweet. I really like that scene.
Yeah. And then
and then he explains it in such a Toru way,
yes,
like doing laundry.
Exactly. And it's true. And then so Toru goes up and to Yuki, and she's like, "So I was anxious too." We get to see Yuki's messy room.
I know, I love it so much. I love people's reactions to his room. Like, and I'm like, I was trying to explain. I'm like, guys, you don't understand. Yuki is a mess.
Yes. And, like, Kyo's room's bare, and then Yuki's is like,
yeah.
mess.
They actually released. Did you see the release of like everybody's charts for their rooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that so much.
That was good. And so she's like, "You want to come down and eat somen with us?" And so he's like,
it's so cute.
"Okay." He doesn't know why, but he's like, "All right." And then we have Shigure doing his whole like, "Oh, if you eat pink somen, you're like, you get the hots," or whatever. I don't know what he said.
He said you become a pervert.
Yeah, whatever. And so, we get Shigure's banter at the end. And
we never talked about the ED.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about next, because we're kind of at the end now. The ED's so pretty.
I know. I like the OP better. I mean, I like the visuals for the ED so much, but I just love this new OP. But yeah, I love the detail of that all the animals are actually in order for the zodiac animals, like the cycle. Yeah. For like when they got to the god's house or whatever. The banquet, they're like actually in order, and like the rat on the ox's back, and then how they cut to the cat by itself.
Yeah, it was really pretty, and I've heard, and I guess it's true, but like the end of the song, like it has a humming sound to it, and it's like a reference to the first opening of the original. And
yeah,
I was like, that's really cool.
I know. I love how they're paying homage.
Yeah. So, and I guess that's it. So.
Yeah. Oh, we never really gave like our overall thoughts on the second episode. I loved it.
Yes.
I loved seeing Kyo and Toru stuff. And I loved like the intense parts as well. I liked it a lot more than the first one. Besides, like the first one, I loved because we got to see Machi and Kakaru. But I really liked.
Yeah, I like the second episode more. Just because, well, I guess I'm Qios biased, but also just because
Yeah.
it was I don't know, just like you said, it was a little more intense but yet playful. I don't know, it was fun.
Yeah, it had a lot of cute moments, but then it had the really intense moments too. It's like a classic Fruits Basket episode.
Exactly. So, yeah, and I think that's about it. Unless you can think of anything else you want to talk about.
Let me check my notes.
Okay.
uh,
But if this does good, we can do games or guests and stuff on this. I already have some.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Yeah, and I feel like once people see this on YouTube, they'll be like, oh, and come join it. So live.
Yeah.
So I guess the best way to follow me, Qios Anime, is probably on YouTube if you guys want, and with Francesca obviously be Twitter. So
yeah. And my Twitter again is like Francesca the Fruits Basket Ho, because that's just, I mean, I don't know if you have to censor Ho, I'm sorry.
you're
and then well, if you can't find that, my @ is ANNEIKO27. It's actually my middle name. It's Aneko because it's like Japanese.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah, I really love doing this. Thank you so much for bringing me on and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you were the first one to come to me, so I was just
Yeah,
like, and
I saw that. I was like,
Twitter.
oh yeah, I wanted to do this. I've been wanting to do this.
Yeah. So next time maybe we'll do something a little different, like a guest or something.
So thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you guys can come to our next podcast about Fruits Basket. See you then.